Alright, today I'm going to show you guys how to make egg white omelet. Now, I don't know if you think that sounds crazy or too easy, but try it. Because the thing about egg whites is that it's just all water. There's no yolk or anything to keep it thick. It's just like a watery mess. And if you try to do a scramble, it just turns into like shredded paper. It's pretty bizarre if you do scrambled egg whites. I think it's neater and cleaner to do an omelet. And then you just can do a little more with it. Better presentation, easier to eat. You can also just throw it in a sandwich. So check it out. As always, I'm trying to preheat the pan to get it warm. I've been using these boxed egg whites. I think they work well. It's better than separating all the time and wasting the egg yolk. Every time we separate the whites from the yolks, I don't have much to do with the yolks. I used to try to feed them to the dogs, but dogs don't really like the yolks either. So, pan's getting hot. As always, nice coat. We don't want that egg white, especially egg whites. You don't want that egg white to stick. Once this pan is getting warm, it's kind of warm, but we're gonna go with it. Got that little sizzle, that's enough. You just want about 1/8 of an inch. You don't want it too thin, not too thick. Egg whites get really gluggy if it's a real thick patty, so medium size. I always crack some fresh pepper over it. I always use fresh ground pepper. Occasionally I'll put a little salt. Usually we put salsa on this stuff, and the salsa has some salt. But if we're gonna eat just the egg white, that's a demonstration here. We're gonna put some salt and pepper in it. I'm not even gonna touch it. I'm gonna put a lid on it. That's how you make this omelet. That's a fancy lid, but you don't need a fancy lid. If you don't got a fancy lid, you can use a plate. Just put that on that. The whole thing is you just want to seal it. Another thing I put, tortilla comal. Tortilla maker. Throw that on there. You just got to seal it. You want to kind of steam that egg in there. But I do have the fancy lid that fits it. And I will lower the flame. It's a little high. I do like to say that flame management is real. Because you really cannot depend on one flame. You do have to see what your dish is doing. Is it too hot? Is it sizzling? Is it bubbling? Is it not doing anything? When it's not doing anything, that's when you want to raise it. If it's going a little too crazy, sounds a little too busy under the lid or in the pan, that's when you want to lower it just a little bit. This usually takes, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 minutes. I usually don't cook in a rush these days. So if the pan's on low or medium, even if it takes 5 minutes, I'm okay with it. And usually I usually make 4 or 5 omelets in a row. So once you get past that first omelet, pan's nice and hot. You just got to remove it, grease the pan again, fill up with the egg, pepper, a little salt, put the lid on, and you just wait another 3 or 4 minutes. This is super low maintenance egg white making because we're basically going to cook it about 80%. I say 90% on one side. That bottom is going to cook from the bottom all the way through the top. And once this is ready, you'll see what I mean. I'll be able to flip it once, basically lay it there for about 20 seconds. The whole omelet will be done. So most of it gets done the way it is now under the lid. I hear some stuff going on in there. It's steaming. I know it's not ready, but I will take a peek. And I always carry a towel. I never want to burn my hands, so I'll just take a little glimpse. You know what? We actually have that heat pretty high, and I can show you this, that there is nothing runny, nothing wet, which is really what you're looking for here. If you lift that lid and there's a lot of wet egg white still, it's going to be real messy when you flip this because, again, it's mostly just water. So it splashes and gets real messy. So that's what you want to see right there. You want to see it basically dry. It's 95% done. So I'll give it one quick flip. And I'll sit it back. You don't need to put the lid on because we just need to finish that there. And little kicker I like to do is super simple. We always carry these string cheese and just split it. You know, it's kind of low fat. It's not a cheddar. It's not a Monterey Jack. So it has a little less fat, a little lower in calories. And I'll just split this maybe into 3 or 4 pieces. And I'll just lay that into the egg there, just like that. And then I'll take it straight to the plate. This is done. Let's see if we can get it out. Maybe I didn't put enough oil in it or something, but there we go. We'll get this out. This usually cooperates, not today. We can do it this way. I'll fold it over. Put it there. Now I know I just want to point something out because most people believe that that would be too much cracked pepper. It's not. You can hardly taste it, and don't forget, egg white is super bland. Really has no flavor. You're just eating that for the protein and for a low carb, maybe breakfast or lunch or sandwich. Again, you can throw that in bread and tortilla just as is with the cheese. We like to top it with some whole beans or some salsa, and it just makes for a great meal. But you can do that with a scrambled egg. You can do that with egg whites. It's just really simple to put that lid on. Leave it for 3 or 4 minutes. You do have to watch it. One thing I recommend is never walk away from your food. You walk away and you're going to find out what wrong can happen. Things dry up, they overcook, they get dry, they get hard. What you're always looking for in eggs is tender, moist, and you know, you want it restaurant quality. And it's really easy to do if you just pay attention to your food. So try not to walk away. But anyways, hope you guys liked it. That's my egg white omelet. See you guys next time.